Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my fantastically fucked up life. If you're here for the juicy bits, you want to know how I almost died? I already told that story. That is in a video somewhere down there. I believe it's titled Murder on His Mind. I will warn you, it is not for the faint of heart. I don't censor my videos. You might have a hard time with it. They're short versions, so it doesn't include everything, but it's juicy enough to satisfy if that's what you're looking for. Have fun. In this video, I want to kind of talk a little bit more about the psychology of some of this stuff and basically I was given we'll call it a semi-diagnosis for Nick. Before I escaped my relationship with him, I started going to counseling. I started doing a lot of the things that I felt like I needed to do for myself. And the biggest reason I was doing it is because he had me wrapped up in this triangulation bullshit with a girl who had moved in with us. And for a while, I was trying to compete, but at the same time blow her off and be like, bitch, you're nobody. And then the other side of me was that I was suppressing was the side of me that ended up coming out when I was going to counseling. And it was the side of me that was telling me, bitch, what are you doing? Like this, why are you fighting over him? Call it a wake up moment, you know? And through several sessions, she told me what she thought he was. Now, this isn't an actual diagnosis, and legally, she's not able to diagnose him. But I'm gonna just bleh what she told me out, and I actually had her repeat it to me several times so that I could write it down, and I have that somewhere. I kept my own notes and whatnot during counseling sometimes because it helps to look back on stuff. Anyway, the terms that she gave me was an overt and covert, so both, malignant, sadistic, grandiose narcissist that also suffers from sociopathy, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. Now, I know that these words are fucking thrown around like water. I could go on and on about how it bothers me that these terms are so freely thrown around because it lessens the severity of the meaning of those words when it's legitimate. I feel the same way about women who are trying to claim abuse. Amber Heard can rot in a fucking hole. Fuck that bitch. I remember watching her bullshit and I was like, there's no fucking way that anything that you're pretending to cry about right now is even remotely true. How you are an actress is beyond me because you had none of us fooled. Puts a sour taste in my mouth. Certain things in life do that. And I guess I'm too much of a bitch to not voice it. Now, these words, what I want to do today, because I guess I've always just kind of assumed what they've meant. I've never really sat down and Googled them, and I think maybe today should be a day of understanding. And I've been told something over and over, over and over. And a few people have caught that just by hearing tidbits. And then they have told me he's sounded like one. But I'm going to give my own synopsis kind of at the end of this. And everything will just come together then. Okay, so the first one, let's do the easy ones first, shall we? Let's do, and instead of, no, we'll Google the actual terms first. Okay, so let's go with sociopathy first. Sociopathy. Come on, bitch, spell. Here we go. It's a mental health condition characterized by a disregard for social norms, laws, and the rights of others, often starting in childhood or early adolescence. Key behaviors include deceit, manipulation, impulsivity, lack of empathy, and a lack of remorse. While often confused with psychopathy, sociopathy generally refers to behaviors driven by environmental factors and impulsivity. Okay, I could definitely see that. You know, like impulsive decisions, like buying the truck when we didn't really have the money for the truck, and then the truck he chose was the worst vehicle he could have chosen, and it just created all of this strife. So like things like that to cause chaos, but they're done without much thought. He just, oh, how can I be a dick? Oh, that's a quick way. Let's do that. Okay. PSY. Psychopathy. It's a personality disorder characterized by a lack of empathy, shallow emotions, impulsivity, and manipulative or antisocial behavior. So this one seems to be more based on empathy. It says rooted in genetic risk factors and brain chemistry. It often manifests in childhood and persists into adulthood. While not a formal DSM-5 diagnosis, it's not? It is typically assessed using the Hare Psychopathy Checklist revised, with core traits including deceitfulness, narcissism, and callousness. And I could definitely see that one. And when he and I were together, I spent time like researching, because there would be periods of time he'd tell me that there was something fucking wrong with me. So I would like watch self-help videos and shit. And eventually it would circle back to, it's not what's wrong with you, it's what's wrong with them. It would just it was like the universe was pushing me to this direction the whole time. And I kept ignoring it. Like I kept really dismissing it. You know, he's not that bad. It's just me. It's me. I'm the one with the problem. And he had me convinced. That's how it was. I don't want to go into a big long thing, but I could definitely see. And, you know, I did spend some time like, is there something wrong with him? And, you know, we would go through different tests and stuff. And there would be periods of time where like, it would be like I would break through to him and I'd be like, no, there's something wrong. And if we are going to be normal, we need to fix this. Like, I'm your wife. I'm supposed to help you and support you and guide you and tell you when you're being a fuck up and you're being a fuck up, and we need to figure out why. You know, but he wouldn't go to a doctor. He didn't want to like actually know, I don't think, because it was easier for him to just put a mask back on and continue to excuse his behavior. And before any of you think I got beat up, this is from my daughter's dog. He was really happy when he got to see his nanny. And my hand is because I was shoveling and I bashed it on a trailer while I was shoveling out my truck. So fun times. everything's fine. Now let's go to Machiavellianism, because this one actually, I've done a little bit of looking this one up just because I've never heard of it, and the only thing I really know about it is a dude named Machiavelli is who it's coined after, and I guess he wrote this book that was for royalty, and it was all about how to like step on the peasant population. Uh, um that's the gist anyway. It's a personality trait. So this is something you can pick up. This isn't genetic. They said psychopathy was genetic. Sociopathy was because of environmental factors. And this one is a trait that you can pick up. So that's cool. The difference between those. It's characterized by manipulation, deceit, and a cynical worldview, and a cold, strategic focus on personal gain and power. Now the whole like peasant population step in sounds like it fits. It's part of the dark triad alongside narcissism and psychopathy. High Mach individuals believe the end justifies the means, often exploiting others while lacking empathy. God, that is so him. That is so him. Okay. Now I want to get into like I call them like the descriptors. Let's go with, what was it? You know what? Let's do overt and covert first. Because I think overt is like you're over the top, and covert is like you're kind of behind the scenes doing shit. Let's see. Overt describes actions, behaviors, or attitudes that are done openly, plainly, and without secrecy, making them easily observable to others. Okay. And covert must be like when you're doing the opposite of that. It refers to something hidden, secret, or disguised, often used to describe undercover operations or behaviors not openly done. The opposite. So, like, all of the poking and the prodding and the stuff that they do to you in private is their covert stuff. And then when they take you out in public, after they've told everybody you're exploding, that's their overt kind of shit, they will publicly humiliate you and probably make you explode and do all the shit. So there's like, he's definitely a mix of both. Like him being so bold to show up to my house in the middle of the day to do shit to my vehicles, or, you know, he's definitely overtly doing shit because he doesn't give a fuck if I know about it. They're not going to do anything to him anyways. And he knows it. He's flat out texted me, like, if I'm doing this, why ain't I in jail? Yeah. Okay. Now let's do grandiose. Grandiose. Boom. Okay. It's an adjective. It means impressive and imposing in appearance or style, especially pretentiously so. Or excessively grand or ambitious. Okay, so like with my appearance and stuff, when I get dressed up and whatnot, I'm definitely grandiose. I've been told I'm so extra when I do it. But to me, it's like that's an expression of the beauty on my inside coming out, because I've been kept sheltered for so long. And now I don't need permission to fucking feel like a princess when I want to. I'll do it whenever the fuck I feel like. but it sounds like it can definitely be applied to actions. All right. Here's one, malignant. Malignant. Let's... Well, I didn't know it was a movie. Well, hold on. Meaning. That button. Thank you. Malevolent. Of a disease, very virulent or infectious. Okay. So, like, he's a bad guy. We gathered that. All right, so it was overt, covert, sadistic. Well, I can tell you what that is. Gets off on causing pain. Yes, I know this. Okay. Overt, covert, grandiose, malignant, sadistic. Okay. All right. I think that's all the words. It's bad that I have to count them on my hands. And I still don't know if I have all of them correct. I have been warned by my mental professionals. The reason I was even given this half-assed semi-diagnosis was because I was told that I was married to a potential serial killer. And I guess multiple attempts on my life means he's at least attempted murder multiple times in multiple ways. I, looking back now, can definitely see his MO. I am very big into true crime and other things, and I think it's probably because it's familiar to me. Sometimes I will watch like the documentary style, being told by surviving victims, because there's like a weird kinship there. You feel for them. You can understand their pain in a way that somebody who hasn't experienced could never begin to imagine. So maybe it was me reaching out for connection. I know how crazy my story sounds. I'm not sure I would believe me if it wasn't me. I would question the sanity of the person telling me this story. Trust me, I'm not sure I have all my marbles either. These attempts that he made on my life, definitely more than 3. You only need 3 bodies to be a serial killer. If he had succeeded with me, gotten away with it, how long do you think it would have been before he hooked another girl in and did something to her? And then how long again before he would have tried it a 3rd time? Because the first time he tried to kill me, in that span from then to the next time, It was only a few months. Thankfully, he was shipped back overseas at some point. And I think that saved me. Truthfully. I really do. I feel like him being shipped out saved me. He did have a chance to take us to South Korea. We did not go. My mind and my gut were telling me, no, bitch, don't go. You won't come home. We had the opportunity to, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to explore the world. I didn't want to do it with him in a place where I could disappear so easy. And the first time he was in South Korea, he was going off base. And I forget the place he was going. I don't think he was going to Seoul, but it could have been. Anyways, he was going out to clubs, and he'd come back and he'd tell me these stories about these girls that were coming up missing over there. And he said that they were called juicy girls, and juicy girls are like the barflies of South Korea. You buy them drinks and apparently happy ending type shit. I don't know all the details, never been there, would prefer not to know, but he made sure to focus on them throughout his deployment. And he had made remarks about how they were coming up missing and how it would be easy to make one of them disappear over there because nobody gave a shit about juicy girls. And looking back on it now, I wonder. I do. I wonder if there wasn't more to that. Because when he came back was when he made that first attempt on my life. When he drugged me and cut my neck and slit my wrists. And then convinced me that I had done it to myself. Then the next time, like I said, there was only a few months. There was I don't even want to say 4 months between the time that the first attempt happened and then he had me tied up and was raping me and went and got a knife and cut his own hand open, shoved it in my face and was like, you did this to me, trying to convince me of some shit that never fucking happened. So I guess just telling these little tidbits here, I can completely see how all of these terms fit him. And now, like, I can't diagnose him. I'm no fucking psychologist. My lady who I was seeing can't diagnose him. He's not her patient, nor would she take him as a patient. But the Machiavellianism, it sounds like they can choose that. And from what I understand about it, it's like I said, like stepping on the peasants. It's calculating how to maneuver through shit. And it's a long game. And Nick, he's dumb. He's stupid as fuck, but he's smart. In this aspect, he is smart. And he has kept his face on for a long time. I held it up for him, okay? He needed me to do that for him because he was not great this might be where the sociopathy and the psychopathy come into play. After a while, they get too exhausted to hold it up for themselves. They can't maintain themselves anymore. And it's not just me. He's done shit too. The girl after me, Cassie, she left him, fled, and was in fear of her life because he started doing to her all of the stuff he was doing to me. That's all I know. And the girl after her, might have been two girls after her, I went and helped her pack shit up because she got a hold of me to tell me that he raped, sodomized her, and left her for dead on the couch when he left to go to Texas to try to find me and my kids. So he's not right. I've been warned this whole time, potential serial killer, potential serial killer. You were the one holding him together. And it takes a while to sink in. And it's so hard once you realize, like, fuck, this guy really could be out killing people. I really was the only thing keeping this motherfucker stable. And it's been close to 7 years now. And he still stalks me. He still shows up at my kids' jobs trying to get them fired. Like, these are his kids. And I can't get the cops to listen. I'm the crazy lady. So I either have to die, and then all of this gets used, hopefully, in court to put his ass away. Or what? Because nobody's taking me seriously. I'm trying. One day we'll get there.